very moment. There are no words. I can't even describe what's happening right now. Paris is collapsing.
Reuters reports tornadoes, wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour, and pounding hail remain threats early on Monday from eastern New York and into New England as the remnants of a deadly storm pushed out to sea. More than 79,000 homes and businesses were without power in Virginia, according to the tracking site PowerOutage.us, with 89,000 more outages reported across Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan, Maryland, and New York. The affected areas will get heavy rains, winds with gusts of up to 70 miles per hour, and the possibility of hail.
Aid agencies are in a race against time as a looming famine threatens to make an already bad situation worse. More than 700,000 hectares of crop fields were destroyed by the raging flood waters following the cyclone Idai. One of the worst affected areas is Buzi in central Mozambique. And as our correspondent Robert Nagila reports, logistical challenges are hampering humanitarian efforts in the area.
Amelia Zinaramwe has toiled on this land in Buzi for the last 3 decades. She was getting ready to harvest her maize crop when Cyclone Idai and the floods that followed destroyed her home and her crops.
I am suffering. I don't have any food or a place to sleep, not even seedlings to replant.
Slowly, she uproots sweet potato leaves. It's all she can afford to put on the dinner table. The residents who own these farms are small-scale farmers who depend on their crop for sustenance. It was just about ready for harvest when it was swept away by the floods, a situation replicated across this entire region. This is all that's left. The remainder shredded by the raging floods across more than 1.7 million acres. Livestock too were not spared. Aid agencies are warning of a looming famine as a result.
80% of the people in this region are relying on these crops or fishery, which has been basically wiped out.
The UN says close to 1 million people from affected areas have already received food assistance, with a further 10,000 on daily food rations. But it's a race against time. Not everyone in the affected areas in central Mozambique has received humanitarian assistance due to lack of access.
Several car dealerships suffered significant losses as powerful storms traveled from Texas to Ohio over the weekend. North Park Lexus at Dominion in San Antonio, Texas, had nearly $1 million in damage after a hailstorm struck the area on Saturday, NBC News Channel 4 reported. Not only that, the violent weather had left nearly 115,000 customers without electricity in Pennsylvania, Virginia, New Jersey, Ohio, and North Carolina as of early Monday afternoon.
While the search goes on for the missing, people who live nearby are growing increasingly concerned that their homes could be next. Heavy rain continues to fall and the surrounding buildings are vulnerable, and they say they've been left to clear up after the disaster with little help.
We're still afraid. The debris left by the rain, the furniture, everything is still here, and it's raining again. What are the authorities waiting for? For the rain and rubbish to bury and kill us? My 6-year-old son is scared. He's inside the house saying he doesn't want to be here.
Favelas or shanty towns like Muzema are often beyond the law. Armed gangs control the streets and profit takes priority over building standards. The buildings that came down had already been condemned. Residents say the government could and should do more to end corruption.
The civil defence comes and inspects. Last year they condemned 2 buildings down here. But a few days after that, you had people building new ones. That's how it happens. This is not about suffering. It's about being abandoned.
A state of emergency in Rio de Janeiro was announced a week ago when the floods and mudslides began. Forecasters say the worst of the rain is over, but fear in the favelas remains. Fear that most homes will be reduced to rubble.
A new severe weather threat that is brewing, potentially targeting millions from Texas to Iowa. And this is coming after days of violent and deadly storms. Ginger has the latest. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, everybody. I want to start you out with this unbelievable video from the storms yesterday. Watch as that utility worker tries to get a line down. It explodes. So you see the power and the fire all just erupt. Well, around him, he runs away. Well, thankfully, he had all the proper equipment on. He was told that that line was de-energized, by the way, so he wasn't doing that out of step. Also in Millersburg, Pennsylvania, the straight line winds that take down the tree, then rip that roof off on surveillance. The line of storm so strong, it also had 3 confirmed tornadoes in Pennsylvania alone. Let's go ahead and over now. I need to show you where this next severe threat is going to come into play. It's tomorrow, and it's a couple of lows that are going to come together. Violent storms possible from Oklahoma City right through Dallas and Fort Worth. Austin, Texas, you're included too tomorrow.
According to Reuters, the measles virus